Hey, what's going on out there, traders? We're going to go ahead and do a market recap and a little bit, little insights and outlook of leading to next week, what's possibilities of next week or whatnot. I hope you guys all had a wonderful week, a good way to end a Friday. Hope you guys ended green. That's what you always want to do on a Friday, always end it green, never give anything back. But yeah, let's go ahead and get to these levels and this outlook of the market recap. Of course, I got a 45-minute on the left side, 4 hour, 6 hour on the right side. During the overnight session, we saw a slow pace start to the night. Then we, a few hours in, broke out to the earlier session high of the 61.54 and pushed to extended high of 61.55.75, where then we attempt to try to break it higher, which was met with a rejection, and then leading to the early morning hours, we just kind of fell back and got into that 61.45 support zone, which was nice. Had a lot of rejection wicks towards the bottom, showing that buyers were interested. They were still there. Then leading into the early pre-market stage, and on to the open, had some nice momentum and then created a high at 61.62.25. And then from there, that was pretty much it. We tried to attempt it like 2 hours, hour and a half later. Didn't really get that close. Just got to that 57.50 area, kind of rejected. And from on there, we just kind of made our way back to that 61.45. And once that level was lost, then the shorts kind of took control, pushed the market down to that 61.35 area where we attempted the bounce from. Had like I think it was like an 8 to 9 point bounce, and then it just fell from that point on. Tried to bust right back through it. It didn't work, and then just continued on down to that 61.25 area, which was pretty much like our last resort for today. Towards the end of the day, leading in the power hour, we wanted to see that hold. If it didn't hold, we were going to flush through it. So I wanted to see like a nice failed breakdown right there, which that's what we pretty much got at the end of the day. Myself and one of my team members were inside of Discord on voice, and we were watching it. He was playing M&Q and I was playing ES. He had his levels drawn, I had my levels, and they were pretty much doing the same thing, coming down to some previous mini clusters where buyers were interested before. So that was good. We took that, rode it up a few points, scaled some out, it came back down, added some more, and then just took them all out around the 29 and 30 area. Was trying to see the push back to the 35, but I was already done and starting to type up my write-up and things for the day. So it was good to see that hold, or else if we would have lost that, we would have flushed down to that 13, which that mid pivot zone would have needed held if we would have got down there. So looking into going into Sunday session, leading into Monday, the bulls would need to defend that 25, right? We need to see that be defended, and if we decide to lose that, shorts start taking control. We want the mid pivot zone, that 13-15 area to hold, which for me, I would not mind to see us come down to that 6100 area and create a FBD there, leading to like Tuesday to Wednesday before the FOMC statement. So I would like to see that. Either way, whatever plays out, I'm going to play level to level. 35 will be our immediate resistance, with 45 after that. So yeah, that's what I would love to see, is the FBD potentially down here at the 6100s. And yeah, so we got that economic data of the FOMC statement. So you're definitely going to want to be cautious of that. It's going to be some high volatility during those times. Um, Usually we get the first two moves are trap moves, so just be cautious of that. Don't jump on the first initial move if it shoots up or shoots down. Just let the levels guide you, and just have that patience, and then kind of much go from there. It's going to be pretty much straightforward, right? Just following the levels, and probably see a slower market leading up to Wednesday, more of a consolidation Tuesday or whatnot, and then Wednesday breakout for the price discovery. But I did want to go over like my 45-minute time frame ordeal, why I like it. Um, I used to use the 15 minutes time frame a lot, like a 15 5 minute, especially when I would say that with the small cap world. As I got into the futures, I still use the 15 minute, but I was mainly using the 15 and 5 and all that during the small cap world. And then I could say maybe like 5 months ago, 5 to 6 months ago, I just really got big into like a 30-minute time frame, and I was staying on there, and I started loving that. And I just saw the 45 just was perfect for me. Just reading it, you could see things more clear. You can see the patterns, and it really teaches you patience. I already had patience. Now going to this and put my patience on top of this patience, it kind of fit together. And like I said, you can still see the movements. You don't need to be on a 15 or 5. If you prefer, you prefer it. Um, but yeah, I prefer not to. You can see the action still on a 45. Teaches you patience, and I'll even I have a sum typed up. I'll bring up here that I had typed out, and it kind of even lays it out even more of my 45-minute aspect. Why I prefer it, the reduces the noise. You can still capture the key market moves, your precision and confirmations. I feel like are more precise, right? Um, you getting into your entries, you can still see the same aspects you would see on the 15 minute. You're just blocking out the noise. And I'm always doing my analysis on the 45 minutes, so it definitely works there. The higher time frames, 4 hour, 6 hour, 8 hour, and daily. I use those outside of my 45 minute. And yeah, the psychological advantage of it, right? The encourage discipline. There's fewer candles compared to the lower time frames, which that right there definitely helps um, to not overtrade or making biased decisions quickly, right? Short here, long here, short here. You just want to, let the trend set up, let the levels guide you. And I feel like the 45 minute does that very well for me. It helps identify the levels. I can see the FBDs a lot on there. They definitely help on there. The entries and stops are pretty dope on there still. You can still use them like you would on a smaller time frame, especially if you're trading like MES, right? For you guys that love the ES side of it, I have a thing or deal that I have with the whole MES aspect. Let me see if I can find it, which is a good thing of scaling out, and it teaches you how to keep runners and things and whatnot right here, right? Which I need to fix that typo, which it has, any prop firm, doesn't have to be Apex, whatever ones allows you to have multi accounts connected, right? So it works very well doing that strategy. You basically getting 5 contracts at a very well structured resistance or support, right? Or you could do it on a volume breakouts or the breakdowns, and just scaling out, right? As soon as you get that 10-point move, which you could get them bigger moves later, right? That's where the runners come intact to help you catch those moves. But as you build a system, right, you could increase down the road, right? There's no rush for that. It's all about the process that leads you to the money. So yeah, you close out 3 contracts on a 10-point move, which will give you 150 per account, total of 450 across all accounts. And by letting those 2 contracts run and having anywhere from a 15 to 20 point stop, preferably 15 on the 2 runners, if anything. If those 2 runners went against you, right, then well, you'll lose 150 bucks just on those, but you still net profit 300. So overall you still win the trade. And say that you did take all 5 still on a good level, and then maybe some news came out or Trump said something, FOMC happened, anything of these natures, the economic datas, and you did lose a 15-point stop. Well, that's only 375, right? So now if you can knock it down to where you're taking 6 trades or whatnot between the week, and you're winning 4 out of the 2, well, you're gonna be profitable, right? Then you would be on the losing side, right? You always win 4 trades out of the 6, 4 trades out of the 6, and more than likely than not, you're gonna go ahead and on a strong level. It's gonna be rare that ES is gonna go against you 15 points when you're on a good level, right? And then now with MES, you could even move it to a 20 to 25 point stop, which will still work out very well, right? So yeah. It's little pointers there with the MES, and then my EMAs, right? I use it as a system of a green light, yellow light, red light system. Then I have a blue in here that just it's the 50 EMA that I like to have. The 21 is my green light. That's my 21 EMA. My yellow light is the 100. My red light is the 200. And those fit very well. I love them on the golden cross aspect, especially off of a downtrend. You can use them in the uptrend, but I'm more bullish than I am short. But I do short also, so I'm not biased just to one side. Whatever is going to give, I'm gonna take. But yeah, the golden cross, there's a couple ways to play it. You could be aggressively, right, as she's reclaiming the 21, and then you always use that 21 as your safety net. It starts getting candles under and throwing upper wicks. Well, you might want to look to close the trade or see what level it's on, right, depending if it's by level or whatnot. For example, right there where she kind of broke out, claimed on top, pushed on top of this level, it was a key spot. Also the 842 back in about a week ago, 2 weeks ago or so. Gets above, and you use these as launch pads, right? Like the EMA to an EMA, you could use them as launch pads. They usually go from one to another and they throw a wick. Or you could wait until the 21 gets above the 50, and then the 21 and 50 gets above the 100, right? The yellow light. And then you could go from there and take the strong momentum up until the 200 and then wait for the breakthrough of that. If you don't want to get in so early on any of that, you could take it afterwards. You could take it on the breakout, and always be cautious of the breakout. Using me, if I spot it and I'm not in it in any of these times, or I miss it by a day or whatever, well, I wait, because usually after initial golden cross, it pulls back to usually the yellow light or just under the 50. A lot of the cases I'll see it pull back to the yellow light and the red light, and as soon as I see it right there and react and start reclaiming those EMAs, then I can know I could go ahead and push long. If it's happening at the end of the day, at the end of the session, I know on the next opening session I got something good to look at, and also see if it's around the level. And then you just let that green light guide you, right? You don't really have to get out of your trade, especially if you're in early on any of these pullbacks. When it pulls back to the 50, and it happens a lot, it stays over the green light, pulls back to the 50 EMA, take a pullback, take it, pull back, take it. But yeah, it's pretty dope. I like the golden cross aspect out of the bigger EMAs. So you just kind of intertwine all of it together, right? The key levels, the EMAs, the bigger frame, which lately I've been having no EMAs on my bigger time frame, and just going strictly level to level off of that. So yeah, we'll see. Looks like we have a nice bigger time frame candle printed, but we'll need the bulls to defend that, and then we'll just kind of go from there. I hope you guys all have a good weekend and find this information insightful. Any questions or any things that you may want to see me go over, just let me know in the comments or whatnot. I'm always try to give out some little nuggets here and there to try to help traders, build on their strategies or their plan, or just be able to be comfortable, with their process. I'm always going to teach that patience. Got to be disciplined and have that risk management. But yeah, what a nice Friday, and you guys have a good weekend. Let's start banking out next week.